Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get to what really matters. Now, choosing new tires for your car. It might seem like one of those simple jobs, doesn't it? Just, slap on 4 round black things and off you go. But what if I told you that single decision is actually like a master control for your car's comfort, its fuel bill, and even, its raw performance? Seriously, the tire market is it's flooded with myths. Old wives' tales, And they could be quietly costing you thousands of dollars. You wouldn't even realize it. So our mission today, we're tackling that head on. We're going to dismantle the biggest tire lies one by one.
It's truly fascinating when you look into it, isn't it? How deeply ingrained some of these assumptions are. Even when the engineering data, the practical experience consistently tells us something different, understanding why these beliefs stick around and why the reality is often the opposite, well, that's really the key to making smart choices for your car.
Absolutely. And believe me, by the end of this deep dive, we might completely flip what you thought you knew about tires. We're going to hit some surprising questions too, like, are low-profile tires really the quiet ones? Are high-profile tires only meant for big trucks? Seems that way sometimes. And the big one, which type is actually going to save you money at the pump? Trust me, some of this stuff is genuinely eye-opening. And hey, if you feel this deep dive brings real value, helps you and your car out, we'd love for you to show your support. Please don't forget to hit subscribe, maybe give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment below. Your feedback is crucial. Seriously, it helps get this info out to more people who need it. Ready? Okay, let's dive in. All right, let's jump straight into the first big myth. This one genuinely surprised me when I looked into it. There's this really common idea floating around that low-profile tires somehow have weaker grip. It almost sounds intuitive, doesn't it? Like less sidewall, maybe less rubber actually touching the road, so less grip. What do the hard numbers say?
Well, according to the data we have, that couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, low-profile tires are the absolute champions when it comes to road holding, to grip. The science behind it is actually pretty simple. They flex less, a lot less. They're stiff, short sidewalls. They prevent the tire from deforming or sort of rolling over on itself during hard cornering. This means the car stays incredibly planted. It responds instantly to your steering inputs. It's why you see them on basically every single sports car out there.
Oh, so it's that stiffness,
Yeah.
that lack of flex. That's the key thing then. It lets the tire keep its best shape on the road.
Exactly. And it's not just the rigidity. They also typically have a wider tread. That wider tread puts more rubber directly in contact with the pavement. More contact equals more grip. It's, a pretty direct relationship. The result, you're looking at shorter braking distances, much better stability in emergency maneuvers, like if you have to swerve suddenly. And overall, the car just feels incredibly sharp, really connected to the road. It gives you a lot more confidence as a driver.
Right, I can definitely feel that connection sometimes. But, and this is from personal experience, I'd bet this performance comes at a price. And that price is comfort, right? Mm-hmm. Because those stiff sidewalls, they must transmit every little bump straight into the cabin.
You've hit the nail on the head there, yes.
Yeah.
Because those stiff sidewalls don't flex much, they have very little ability to absorb road imperfections. Every jolt, every vibration, it gets transmitted directly into the car's chassis and, well, straight to you in the cabin. So, yeah. On a perfectly smooth racetrack or brand new highway, low-profile tires give you amazing handling. But for your daily drive on roads that are, let's be honest, usually less than perfect, you have to be prepared to sacrifice quite a bit of that cushiony ride.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and potentially costly if you get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people think that because low-profile tires look slim, maybe sleek, they must be more durable. Or the opposite idea, that their slim design means they just can't carry heavy loads. What's the real story with lifespan and strength?
Yeah, the idea that low profile automatically means more durable, that's definitely a myth. A tire's lifespan has almost nothing to do with its profile height. It's really all about the tread compound, the rubber itself. Think of it like shoes again. A soft, high-performance sole gives amazing grip, but wears out super fast, right? Like a racing slick. A hard compound sole is built to last longer, but you'll trade away some of that ultimate grip, and maybe some comfort too. Now, since many low-profile tires are designed for performance, they often use those softer compounds to maximize grip, which means, ironically, they can actually wear down much quicker than a standard tire.
Huh. So it's not the profile, but the purpose driving the design. That makes sense. That's a really key difference. But what about carrying weight? Is it fair to look at a slim tire and think, nope, can't handle my SUV?
Not at all. That's another really common misunderstanding. A tire's load-carrying ability is determined by its load index number. That's a number printed right there on the sidewall. It tells you the maximum weight that tire can safely support. It has absolutely nothing to do with how tall the sidewall is. You can have a low-profile tire with a high load index that can easily handle heavy vehicles. In fact, those rigid sidewalls we talked about, they're actually very effective at supporting weight without too much flexing.
Ah, okay, I see that. However, and I've definitely seen this happen, that thin design does seem to make them more vulnerable. Potholes, curbs. One bad hit can wreck not just the tire, but the wheel too, and those can be expensive.
That's a very valid point. They offer less protection for the rim itself.
So for a long life, you're really looking at the tread compound, maybe your driving habits, like avoiding those potholes, not just the sidewall height. You can't just glance at it and know everything.
Precisely. It's about the whole picture.
All right, let's talk money. Our wallets. The gas station. It sounds logical, doesn't it? A thinner tire. It should mean less friction, which should mean better fuel economy, less rubber hitting the road, less resistance. So does this mean low profile save us gas?
It's a very logical thought process, but the real world, especially tire physics, it's quite a bit more complicated than that. While it is true that the stiffer sidewalls of a low-profile tire flex less, which theoretically reduces energy loss, we call it rolling resistance, it's really only one tiny piece of a much bigger puzzle. It's a factor, yes, but often it's not the main one influencing your fuel consumption.
Okay, so there's a bigger picture then, something else going on that's maybe secretly draining our tanks.
Exactly. The bigger truth is that most low-profile tires are, like we said, built for performance, not primarily for saving gas. And they're almost always wider than their high-profile cousins. A wider tire creates a significantly larger contact patch with the road, more rubber touching down, and a larger contact patch. That means more friction. More friction means your engine has to work harder to overcome that resistance, and that burns more fuel. This extra friction completely cancels out and usually overwhelms any small gain you might get from the stiffer sidewall reducing rolling resistance.
Wow. Okay, so that extra width, the thing that gives you that great grip we talked about,
Yeah.
is basically hitting you at the pump. That's a pretty major trade-off to be aware of.
And it doesn't even stop there. Wider tires can also negatively impact your car's aerodynamics. They create more drag, especially when you're driving at highway speeds. So when you add it all up, the idea that low-profile tires are some kind of secret weapon for saving gas money, it's simply wrong. It's a myth that genuinely costs people money if they choose tires based on it.
Right. So the practical takeaway here is clear. If your main goal is squeezing out every last mile per gallon, you should be looking for tires specifically designed with low rolling resistance. Forget the profile height for a second. The width of the tire and its specific tread design, those are far more important factors if you're trying to, pinch pennies at the gas station.
Exactly. It's not about the profile look. It's about the engineering focus.
Let's move on. Here's one of the biggest misconceptions out there, I think. Because it just feels right. Many people believe that because low-profile tires are thin, they have to be quieter. Surely, less material, less noise. It just seems logical for getting a smooth, silent ride.
Well, the reality is, once again, the complete opposite. Low-profile tires are almost always noisier, and the reason is pretty straightforward. Those sidewalls are short and incredibly stiff, which means they have very little ability to absorb vibrations coming up from the road surface. Think of it like tapping on a tight drum skin versus a loose one. The tight one resonates much more.
So they're basically acting like a megaphone for road noise, sending it straight into the cabin. I remember one car I had with performance tires. Long trips were, let's just say, immersive, not exactly relaxing.
Precisely. Every little bump, crack, pavement imperfection, it gets transferred directly through the wheel into the suspension, and then you hear it and feel it in the cabin. You end up hearing more road roar, more hum, feeling more of the road's texture. It can actually be quite tiring on longer drives.
Whereas high-profile tires, they act almost like an extra cushion, right? Like another layer of suspension.
Yeah.
Their taller, more flexible sidewalls are great at soaking up those vibrations before they even reach you. They generally create a much quieter, more cushioned ride, like the difference between stiff dress shoes and comfy running sneakers. One clearly absorbs impact better.
That's a great analogy. And it's important to remember, too, that the profile isn't the only thing making noise. The tread pattern itself is a huge factor. Some really aggressive tread designs can trap air and compress it as the tire rolls. That creates a constant, annoying hum, like a giant drone. Other, more complex patterns are actually engineered to break up those sound waves, leading to a much quieter experience overall. So the bottom line is, if a silent, comfortable ride is your absolute top priority, a low-profile tire on its own is rarely the right answer. You've got to look at the whole tire design.
Okay, now here's a technical myth. This one trips up a lot of people, especially folks looking to upgrade their cars. It's the belief that high-profile tires somehow let you fit larger brake systems. Is this some clever trick we've all been missing for getting better stopping power? Bigger sidewall, more room?
Technically, it's completely backward. The size of the brake system you can install, specifically, we're talking about the diameter of the brake rotor and the size of the caliper, it has absolutely nothing to do with the height of the tire's sidewall. Zero.
Nothing. So it's not the tire that dictates brake size at all. What is it then? What's the real limiting factor when you want those massive brakes?
It is 100% dictated by the diameter of the wheel, the rim that the tire is mounted on. You physically need a larger diameter wheel to create the space required to house bigger brake components, bigger rotors, bigger calipers. This is precisely why high-performance vehicles use large diameter wheels combined with low-profile tires. That combination gives them plenty of room for massive brake rotors, multi-piston calipers, the stuff you need for serious stopping power, while also providing that stiff tire structure needed for aggressive driving.
Ah, okay. So it's all about the wheel creating that physical space, the clearance.
Yeah.
And high-profile tires, they're usually paired with smaller diameter wheels, right?
Yeah.
Which just means less room for big brakes.
Exactly. Less physical space available for the braking hardware.
So if you're planning a big brake upgrade for your project car, you shouldn't be thinking about tire profile at all in that context. You need to be laser focused on the diameter of the wheel you plan to use. It's a critical point. Could save someone a lot of hassle and money.
Absolutely critical.
Right. Let's clear the air now on who should actually be using what type of tire. There's this huge myth that high-profile tires are exclusively for SUVs, big trucks, off-road vehicles. So it's not just about beefy vehicles needing beefy-looking tires.
Well, they are absolutely perfect for those applications, yes. That extra sidewall provides crucial cushioning off-road and protects the rims from rocks and bumps. But that's definitely not their only use, not by a long shot. Think about luxury sedans. Cars focus purely on ultimate comfort. Many come equipped with higher profile tires straight from the factory. Why? Because those taller, more forgiving sidewalls work together with the suspension system to create that magic carpet ride. They isolate passengers from road imperfections, delivering a supremely smooth and quiet experience.
Okay, good point. And on the flip side then, another common myth is that low-profile tires are only for brand new, high-end sports cars. So what about the rest of us? Driving something maybe a bit older or just more, well, normal. Are we left out of the low-profile look and feel?
Not at all. That's also completely false. Low-profile tires have been around for decades. They're a hugely popular choice in the car modification scene. For all sorts of vehicles, old and new, enthusiasts often fit them to classic cars, for instance. It gives them a modern, aggressive stance. And it can dramatically improve the handling and steering response, completely changing how an older car feels to drive.
That's a fantastic point. It's not just about what comes from the factory, it's about customizing the experience.
Yeah.
But I imagine there's a right way and a very wrong way to make that kind of swap, especially given everything we've just discussed about how tires work.
Oh, absolutely, Kalishal. The absolute key is to do it right. When you swap to a different tire profile, you must ensure the overall diameter of the combined wheel and tire package remains the same or extremely close to the original factory setup. Getting this wrong, it can throw off your speedometer accuracy, it can confuse your anti-lock braking system, your stability control, and it can negatively impact your car's handling dynamics, sometimes in unpredictable ways. So choosing the right tire isn't really about the type of car you have, it's about what you want from your driving experience, and making absolutely sure any change you make is done correctly and safely, keeping that overall diameter consistent.
Wow. Okay, so as you can clearly see, choosing the right tire is about so much more than just looks or, simple assumptions. It's this really delicate, interconnected balance, isn't it, between performance, safety, comfort, fuel economy, and let's not forget your budget.
Exactly. These common myths we've busted today, they can truly lead you down the wrong path. They can cost you money unnecessarily. They might compromise your safety in some situations. And they could just plain ruin your driving experience if you pick based on bad info. But now, hopefully, you're armed with the knowledge to make a genuinely informed choice, understanding the why behind each tire characteristic.
So, here's something to think about. Given how deeply performance and comfort are tied to our tire choices, what aspect of your driving experience are you prioritizing most right now? And could a thoughtful change in tire profile, now that you understand the trade-offs, truly unlock that for you? Definitely something to ponder. Now, if this deep dive helped clear things up, if it provided some real value, we'd truly appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Maybe hit that like button. And share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We do read them. Your support is honestly what keeps this channel going, and it helps us get this valuable info out to more drivers. And remember, you can also use the Super Thanks feature below the video to contribute directly if you feel inclined. Every little bit helps us create more content like this for you. Until next time, drive safe out there.